us today. And now I would like to open the floor to any questions that anyone might have to get the discussion started. Does anyone have a question? Yes.
Hi. I'm asking about the requirement of covering your hair. I've never received a satisfactory answer as to where it comes from, and so I want to ask it again.
Yeah. Okay. In the Quran, the chapter of Ahzab, where the 33rd chapter in the Quran, where God says that believing women should use their khimar, وَلْيَضْرِبْنَ بِخُمُرِهِنَّ عَلَى جِيُوبِهِنَّ, 3 words. Khumur, the middle word, is head cover. It literally means head cover. Khumur is the plural of khimar, and a khimar in the Arabic language, in classical Arabic actually, Quranic Arabic, this is one major problem, we don't speak Quranic Arabic anymore. In Quranic Arabic, there's literally a gradation of words that are so specific that you don't say, I am covering my head with a cloth that that comes down to slightly above my center point. That's too long for Arabic. But khimar literally means a head cover that drapes over the head, keeping the face exposed, and I'll go into that in a second, and comes to slightly above the center point, meaning to here. So if a cloth covers my head and comes to, this is my midpoint, if it comes to slightly above it, it's khimar. If it comes to my center point, it's called nasif. If it comes to my chest, it's called the ghifara. Most women wear ghifaras, because it comes to their chest and not khimar. It's okay. The point is they can cover the rest with clothing, but you don't have to have an actual garment that Islamic Arabs wore. That's not the requirement here. If a head cover, I'm just explaining this, the immaculate specificity of the Arabic language. If a head cover envelops my head and goes to the middle of my thigh, it's called a mi'jab. If it comes to below my knee, it's called a bukhno. And if it comes all the way down to my ankle, it is a jilbab. So, by the way, if it's a headband, I forgot the word. But anyway, it's so specific that khimar literally means a head cover. So that's why it doesn't say cover your heads, because khimar means a head covering that if draped over the head, exposing the face, will come to slightly above the center point. That's where it says, that's where it explicitly says cover your hair. And yadribna, darb means to make sure that the tails of the khimar cover the chest. Because in Jahiliyyah, the tails of the khimar used to go backwards. They had fashionable issues all the time. Every culture had fashion stuff. So they literally would deliberately expose the chest by leaving the tails of the khimar backwards. And Allah said, that khimar you wear, the Islamic, what everybody has done from Abraham and Adam and to the time of the Prophet Muhammad, every culture had head covering that meant to cover the chest as well. The face issue actually is, this is another opportunity to talk about the cultural paradigms among the Sahaba, and this makes the exegesis more complete. Unfortunately, what I'm going to share with you now is yet to be mentioned in the exegetical tradition. The companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, have their own cultures, right? They have their cultural biases, their anthropological backgrounds. So this remains to be highlighted. The majority of the Sahaba said the khimar does not include the face because a woman needs to see and needs her hands. Whom among the Sahaba said, no, it includes everything because everything must be covered from the woman? are those companions who come from tribal affiliations in pre-Islam that felt that way before the revelation of the Qur'an. That remains to be emphasized, and it is an absolute fact. Very specifically, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud from Thaqif, from Hudayl, is one of the companions that felt everything must be covered from the woman. Well, he felt that way before the Qur'an. So how is his feeling exegesis? You see? You know, with all due reverence and everything. But the problem is when you impose your cultural biases and say, this is what God meant, we have a serious problem and potentially crisis. Because this is how you felt before Islam. Before Quran, you felt everything from the woman must be covered. The other Sahaba from Tamim and from other more dynamic, so to not cover the face is more dynamic. And, you know, I'm in trouble no matter what I say. But anyway, yes, it is more dynamic because not because it's my opinion, but from the unanimous position of the companions, that was the position of Aisha al-Mu'mineen. So if you want the first feminist in Islamic culture and what she thought, she felt that it didn't include the faith. Because she was a wife of the Prophet, she had her own rulings decreed by God, but she still rebelled because she felt that certain ideals were cultural dogma, and she rebelled against them. So Aisha would be a beautiful juridical study because her positions were done, and yes, it's the truth, and it's actually rather endearing. Can you have, it would be the fiqh of spite, the jurisprudence of spiting society or agitating society deliberately. And so you have legal precedent to be an agitator from our mother. Thank you. I hope is that okay? Is that good?
So my follow-up question actually goes to what you discussed as culture. How do scholars interpret the ayah that says, cover your chest with your headscarf? Is it just that, during that time they covered their heads, and so the command was to cover their chests?
The command was to make sure that, because they understood the khimar, because they were classical Arabs, they just knew what khimar was. And everybody covered their head because in every pre-Islamic society, including Judeo-Christian and every culture across the world covered, the pre-Islamic Arabs covered their head, but they left the tails of the khimar backwards. So the Quran explicitly was saying, use the tails of the khimar to cover your chest. Don't keep it uncovered. That's the reason for the Quranic injunction, even before exegesis. Exegesis actually elaborated by infusing the text with cultural dogma, often. But in this particular case, no exegesis is necessary, actually, because the exegesis here is giving us cultural insight into what existed in the Prophet's time and pre-Islam that makes us appreciate why would the Quran say, bring those tails of the khimar and make them forward. And that's what the exegesis provides. Is that okay now?
Thank you.
Promise? You're welcome. Yeah.